Alright, here's some practical advice for how to read and learn from books that nobody's really told you before now, maybe. But this is something that the smart kids in school, when you're 16, 17 in high school and things, that they do. Maybe they do it consciously or they do it unconsciously, who knows. But this is something they know how to do. And what that is you need to spark a genuine interest in the topic you want to learn about. So what I mean by this is an example in real life how this happens is, say you walk in to your home and there's somebody watching a movie there, and it's about halfway through, and then you watch it with them for a period of time, and after watching it you think, oh, I'm actually interested in this, I want to go watch the whole movie. This is effectively what you want to do with books and any knowledge you want to gain. You need to spark a genuine interest, so you need to find something that interests you within what you want to gain knowledge on. So for example, this is Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. And what I would do, and what you should do, if you want to actually learn from books and you don't already, say you have a list of books that you want to read and you don't particularly have an interest in any author or any book, you've just got a list of books that maybe somebody's given to you, somebody suggested, or you found online, whatever. You go to the table of contents and you look at the chapters and you think, and you look at the titles of the chapters and you pick one that you're actually interested in based off the titles. So for this book in particular, I'm probably looking at this, I'm probably most interested in chapter 4, Social Proof, Truths Are Us. So what you do is you go to that chapter and you read that chapter, or you read part of that chapter. And the goal of doing this is that you spark genuine interest in the chapter, in the book, and then after reading that, what you've created within yourself is the interest to go back to the start and find out how you got there, and then how it continues from there. I can think of an example of myself doing this unconsciously when I was younger. I had interest in, I kind of relate everything to fitness and exercise because that's what I'm good at and what I'm interested in. And this interest came from, I used to look at pictures of my father, who was a bodybuilder when he was younger. Also not my favourite book, but when I was a kid, everybody has books that they like to look at. Mostly you're too young to read, so you look at the pictures and things. A book that I had, and most kids would have had dinosaur books and things like that. The book that I had was the Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding. So I used to look at that, look at the physiques and things in there, and then so that was my original interest in fitness and things. And then as I got older, and I actually went to try and gather interest on, information on fitness. I think I was around 10 years old. I was watching YouTube and things. I was interested, and I didn't know the ins and outs of bodybuilding and things like that, but I was interested in having a six-pack, so I wanted a six-pack, and I would watch YouTube videos, six-pack shortcuts and things like that. And then from that was the genuine interest, that was the spark of interest. I would watch those videos, and then from there, originally as a young kid, I thought all you need is a six-pack to be muscular and things like that. And then as you get further into things, as you read further into a chapter that you have a genuine interest in, and hopefully that you're promoting by reading it, what happens is you naturally gain interests in other realms of the same topic and of the same book. So you read a chapter, you're interested in it, and then you try and read the other chapters because you've already created an interest. So with the exercise and fitness, I started off with wanting abs and watching six-pack shortcut videos, and then I wanted a bench press. I wanted to be able to bench press a lot of weight, so I would watch videos about how to bench press, how to build chest, and then that progressed through all the different muscle groups and things like that. And that's how you gain knowledge on a topic, through creating a genuine spark of interest. So anything in general, when you grow older in life, you're not forced to learn. You're not forced to have interest in topics and in things when you're in school or university. You're forced into learning about topics because maybe your parents push you to learn about things, push you in a certain direction to do certain courses or whatever. You have teachers there who are giving you content to review because you're going to be tested on that content, so you're forced to learn. And even if you don't have a special interest in something, an interest hasn't been sparked, you're forced to learn, so you do learn. But as you grow older and you leave the education system, a lot of people stop trying to learn, trying to further their own education, because they're no longer forced to. But if you force yourself to, the easiest way to learn new things is to have genuine interest in the things you learn about and want to learn. Not just a lot of maybe self-help things. You find a list of books and then nothing's going to jump out at you when you find a list of books. So you have to spark that genuine interest. So for this book in particular, SPQR, about the ancient history of Rome, I would look at the contents, look at something I'm interested in. The haves and the have-nots, that chapter, from page 435. I feel like I would probably start there, read that chapter, hopefully spark that interest and go back and be motivated and inspired to read the whole book. Anyway, that's some practical advice that I wish, looking back, I had when I was a bit younger. Because I didn't really understand when I was younger. The smart kids in school, you'd be talking about Newtonian physics, say in physics, and they knew things about relativity, and I wouldn't understand why they knew about those things, how they learned about those things. And it was because, in retrospect, looking back, they would have had a genuine interest in some topic, and then that would have, in a specific topic of physics, and then that would have inspired them to learn further, read more. And a lot of people didn't have or couldn't find that spark of interest, and they didn't. I always, since being young, I would always approach a book reading cover to cover. I just thought mentally that's how it's supposed to be done. It's written that way. The author intentionally writes it in a way that flows from chapter to chapter. But if you don't create a particular interest in something, in a spark of interest, it's very difficult to continue through dense books that maybe, if you read cover to cover, say you get 100 pages in and you can't find something particularly interesting to you, you're just going to put the book down. You're just going to give up. So you have to find something particular interest, and it has to jump out to you, especially in this technological age where TikTok videos are 15 seconds. Things have to entertain you so fast that your attention span is so low. You're not forced into reading anything, you're not forced into learning anything, so you have to create genuine interest in things. And you do that by looking at things that are interesting to you, looking at the table of contents, picking a chapter that looks interesting to you, reading it, and hopefully, if the book's written well enough, if the information is good, if the topic is good, hopefully you're actually interested in that chapter, and then that hopefully promotes you to being interested in the whole book, and you read the whole book. Anyway, that was a bit of a ramble, but that's my practical advice to reading and learning from books. Yeah.